Ms. Jenkins, you say after 23 years, you are here to finally prove to your college sweetheart that he is your daughter, Marquisa's biological father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Crockett, you say Ms. Jenkins was having sex with several men while you were in college, and you are positive you are not her daughter's father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Jenkins, why, after 23 years, are you so sure Mr. Crockett is your daughter's father?
Well, recently me and Corey just reconnected, and we were dating back in college, so he has to be the possible father.
You all dated back in college?
Yes, Your Honor.
And now you believe 23 years later that he is your daughter's biological father?
Yes, Your Honor.
And so, Mr. Crockett, you don't believe that?
No, Your Honor.
Why?
Because she's not my child, you know.
That she is not your child. You do not believe Marquisa's your biological child?
Yes, Your Honor. And plus, she has another man's last name.
Take me back to the beginning of this relationship, Miss Jenkins.
Okay, so in 1993, me and Corey had met in band camp. Mind you, I had a boyfriend back at home. But, of course, we had an instant attraction. And then I was also messing with a guy from my church.
Oh.
But...
So you were in college?
Yes, ma'am.
And you said there were 3?
Yes, ma'am.
So you were messing with Mr. Crockett?
Yes,
and
Your Honor.
Who else? The guy from high school?
Yes,
that
Your
was
Honor.
back at home?
Mm-hmm.
And somebody at church?
Yes, Your Honor.
So how did this relationship start?
So I was in college. I mean, I was having the time of my life. I was doing what most college students do.
You started having sex?
Yes.
Were you boyfriend and girlfriend at the time?
Not at all.
Did you know Mr. Crockett? She had 2 other boyfriends?
No, I didn't.
How do you remember this relationship?
We was both in band. You know, I played the drums, she played the clarinet. She did a little flag twirling, and then one of my friends came and told me she liked me, so we kind of hooked up from then on, and we was having sex, and just went from there.
So, Miss Jenkins, take me to the point you find out you're pregnant.
So I was at school, and I got extremely sick, didn't have no clue as to what was going on with me. So I went to the local health department, and I found out I was 4 months pregnant.
4 months?
4 months. And I didn't tell nobody because I was scared because I knew I had been sleeping with several guys. I was terrified to tell my mom. It came down to where I had no choice but to tell her.
Who did you tell her the father was of the baby? Your mother?
My high school sweetheart.
Okay.
And I really didn't have to tell her. She just assumed because that's who they knew I was with.
So, Mr. Crockett, did you ever know Miss Jenkins was pregnant?
No, Your Honor.
You never told him you were pregnant?
Never. I never told him.
She called me up one day, Your Honor, and told me to come pick her up, and I went and picked her up, and we hung out, and we had sex, you know, and when she put her clothes back on, she reached in her back pocket and pulled this picture out and was like, "Do you think this baby's yours?" And I was like, "No." Then I showed my grandmother, and I asked my grandmother, "Do you think this baby's mine?" And my grandmother was like, "No." So from then on...
What? Wait a minute, Miss Jenkins, you go over to his house to have sex, and when you get done, you just pulled a baby picture out and said, "Does this look like you?"
I did. Yes,
You
Your Honor.
did that?
I did that. Well,
Why'd you do it like that?
Can I just take you back for a minute? Cause
Please do.
Kind of, you know, when she was born, she's maybe about 3 weeks old. So I'm like, me and my high school sweetheart, we're extremely dark skinned. So this baby high yelling, I'm like, this can't be his baby, you know. So I'm just.
Oh, so you're saying the baby comes out
Yeah.
and she's very fair skinned.
Yes, and she hasn't.
So when you had the baby, your high school sweetheart accepted the baby as his. What happens at that point when you're having the baby?
Well, he's away, but his family, you know, his parents accepted it. But me, I knew because I knew what I was doing. And so I felt like, I was like, this can't be. And then, so I mentioned it to the other guy from my church, and I informed him, I said, you know, this may be your baby. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, well, you know, you've been there, so hey, it's a possibility that this may be your baby. I didn't even know he told his mother until she came to me at church and informed me She's like, do you mind us, getting the blood test just to make sure? I said, no, not at all. So then that happens. We get a blood test.
You do? Okay.
We have a blood test, and it comes back negative. He's not the father.
When you told him and it was negative, you've never at this point really told the high school sweetheart that Marquisa is not his, or you don't think she is.
Mm-hmm. I went right back to, just like I was like, well, it must be his.
Came back like you never left.
Yeah, like it never, exactly.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Marquisa thinks that your high school sweetheart is her biological father.
Yes, sir.
She's never been told anything different.
Never.
And now you're here to prove that, in fact, the high school sweetheart is not her biological father, but Mr. Crockett is.
Yes, Your Honor.
I think it's time to hear from Marquisa. I want to know what she has to say.
Ooh.
Jerome?
Just stand right next to the judge. Watch your step.
So, Marquisa, thank you for joining us today. I want to understand, you grew up thinking your mom's high school sweetheart was your biological father.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what you always believed.
Yes, ma'am.
Nobody told you any different.
No, ma'am.
And you were never led to believe anything different.
No, ma'am.
At what point were you told that there could be another possibility?
When my mom and Corey got back together, that's when my mom brought it to me that Corey may be my father. Just now, like recently, probably like a week before we came, I just found out that he wasn't the father.
Miss Jenkins, you just told your daughter 1 week ago
I just told her.
that the man she believed was her biological father for 23 years really was not?
Yes, Your Honor.
And how did you determine that?
I had him tested when she was 13. Like I said, I wanted child support, and so he wasn't complying with child support, so he felt like he wasn't gonna pay child support unless he had a DNA. So we had the DNA, I had her swab, he got swabbed, and the results came back that he was negative also.
And you knew this when she was 13.
I knew.
And so you just didn't tell her for 10 years?
I didn't say absolutely nothing. Wow. Pretty much, I'm raising her. She's growing up in a loving, environment. So I put it to the back of my mind.
So for these 10 years, she's still interacting with the high school boyfriend's family? Are they still coming around, or just all of a sudden they all disappear at 13?
In and out, like she said.
They're just in and out.
In and out. Yeah.
And so all this time, Marquisa, you feel like your father is just sometimey, coming and going as he pleases, never knowing that at 13 it was determined he really was not your biological father.
Right. At first, we didn't really have a father-daughter relationship because he was in and out of my life. Like, he was never consistently there. When him and my mom got back together, when I was about 11 or 12, then at that point we started to kind of build a relationship, and in between then we experienced Hurricane Katrina together. He was there for me. He taught me like a lot of stuff during that time. But then after that, him and my mom broke up, and then he went back to the same thing, and he was in and out. He was never really there.
And so at what point, Miss Jenkins, do you then turn to Mr. Crockett and decide he could be her biological father?
Well, like I said, once me and Corey got back together, our family, our friends, and now everybody's, questioning us and asking, is that Corey's baby? Is that Corey's baby? And a lot of people telling us they look alike. So that's when it really,
So you just reconnected with Mr. Crockett?
Last year.
And once you reconnected, you said the family started saying that Marquisa is his baby.
They favor.
And because you admittedly had slept with 3 different men, you DNA tested the first 2, came out negative. By process of elimination, you said that it must be Mr. Crockett.
Yes, Your
because
Honor.
these are the 3 men I was sleeping with at the time.
Yes, Your Honor.
So had you not reconnected with Mr. Crockett and started to have a relationship, would you have ever told your daughter that he potentially could be her biological father?
No, not at all. I wouldn't have.
You was never gonna tell him.
I never, honestly, I never would have told.
That's what we do here. We tell the truth. We want the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So you said you would have never told.
Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, I raised her. She, I did a good job, so I just.
I understand as a parent, like, you probably in your heart feel like you was doing the best thing to protect me, but I'm grown now, and like I deserve to know that, and
I understand that.
And now I just feel like I'm at that age where, like, if I want to have kids or whatever have you, I have a last name that is not my last name because I have no relation to him.
Mr. Crockett,
Yes,
you've heard Markesia speak beautifully about what this means to her. You've heard Ms. Jenkins testify quite honestly. I mean, she's put it out there today. Right. Do you believe Markesia is your biological daughter?
No, I don't think she's mine.
Why? I mean, there were 3 men she was sleeping with. She's had 2 tested. You're the 3rd one. Why don't you believe it?
I mean, look at them. Can I show you?
Is this proof you brought, an exhibit? Let me see.
I'm 5'3", Keisha's 5'7", Markesia's 6'1". She has, her father has to be tall.
But your son's tall.
Well, wait a minute. Her mother's tall. What's the point? You just believe because you are not that tall and Markesia is so tall, there's no way.
Yes, Your Honor.
But if she DNA tested 2 other men, the other men that she openly admitted here today, I was at college sowing my oats, doing way too much, but I've had them tested and the answers was negative. Mr. Crockett is the only other person I was sleeping with. That doesn't in some way sway your thought?
No, Your Honor.
I mean, it should if I've had 2 other guys tested. So why wouldn't you think that, you knew you was there? So you were possible, if anything.
Correct. I mean, yeah. Well,
You do believe you are a possibility. You agree to that? Or you believe she's not my daughter?
no, I'm a possibility, yeah.
And why do you feel that way? Because she's tall.
Yes.
And then
I
he
guess we've
also
heard
said,
worse, Jerome. We comparing toenails in here and everything else, so. Are you just trying to be kind because you all have reconnected and you don't want to say it? I'm gonna say it for you, and then you can just tell me if I'm right or not. Is it your testimony that you believe possibly there was at least one more person, and that person or someone else may be the biological father?
I don't know, because, she done had 2 other guys tested, so.
I'm not gonna make you talk anymore. Not that you was gonna do it anyway. Jerome, I think it's time for the results. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Jenkins versus Crockett, when it comes to 23-year-old Markesia, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Crockett, you are not the father. You are not the father, sir. Markesia, are you okay, hon? I know you were hoping for the closure today.
Yeah.
You've been very strong, but I can only imagine what it feels like to just not know. Mom, Ms. Jenkins, you see the tears in your daughter's eyes. And quite frankly, you came here to testify to sleeping with 3 men, and I do not mean this in a funny way, I mean this earnestly. Why not say 4? Right. Where is this other guy? Do you know who it is?
no, Your Honor.
You can't remember being intimate with anybody else?
Besides those 3.
This is difficult. And is it possible that you could go back to friends or relatives or people from that time and ask some questions? Because at the end of the day, this is not really a study of your sexual habits in college. This is a very real attempt to try to help your daughter identify who her biological father is. And she has stated so honestly and plainly that she deserves to know. Ms. Robinson, you've opened this case for your son because you're furious with your former friend, the defendant, who went behind your back, slept with your son, and is now claiming he fathered her child, even though you know she was sleeping with many more men. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, my
Ms.
God.
Jackson,
Yes.
you admit you slept with your friend's son without her knowledge, but claim the one thing you know is the plaintiff is a deadbeat who has done nothing for your 3-month-old daughter, Milani, and that needs to change today. Is that
Yes,
correct?
Your Honor.
Mr. Chaplin?
Yes, Your
You
Honor.
stand here with your mother, positive that you are not the father.
I'm absolutely sure I'm not the father, 100%
Explain.
positive. Because during the time that I knew her, we never was in a relationship. We was only friends throughout the entire time. Also, throughout the entire time, I've known her to talk to several other men.
So you know she was talking to several other men.
Yes, ma'am.
Just talking? You gotta do more than talking to make a baby.
Oh, yeah, well, whenever we used to hang out or whatever, she had multiple people coming around. You know, a guy was spending a lot of time with
Your
her.
Honor, can I intercept?
Yes, Miss Jackson.
Me and Dominique was having sex numerous of times every day. Okay, so therefore, for him to say that I was sleeping with somebody else, he's lying. The only one who got him thinking that is cousin It over there, which is his mother.
It.
And dang on
Throughout the whole time I talked to this young lady, she had more than one cell phone.
Your
and
Honor,
every single
you
day,
best-
both of
Your
them.
Honor.
Hold on, let's get some order.
But you need to talk
Let's
to
get
them.
some order. Let's get some order. So hold on. You admittedly slept with your best friend's son.
We was not best friends, Your Honor. We was only friends.
Okay, so your friend's son.
It doesn't matter. Her son is grown.
So the point is you decided that it was okay to sleep with your friend's son.
Me and her son
I'm from
was
the old
friends.
school. I'm 48
Girl,
years old.
and you
where
dang
I
13
come
years
from,
older
and
than
any
me,
other
honey.
woman my age,
You're 13
I
years
don't
older
care
than
if
me,
he's
honey.
a sin or not.
It
You do
doesn't
not
matter.
sleep
He's
with
grown.
somebody
He's
who
grown,
helped you
Bernita. He's grown.
and try to
He's
help
grown.
you keep your kids.
He's
You
grown.
don't sleep with my son when he had
Girl.
already had something going on. I don't give a dang if he is of age. I took
Girl.
the child in, and she
I don't
slept
need
with
you
my
to say
son
no
that
daggone
hurt.
mama.
She shouldn't get it in my house.
You the worst Girl.
Hold on,
You
let's
don't
get
know
some
what
order.
that is.
Let's get some
I'm
order.
not saying my son
up.
didn't sleep with her. I'm saying my son is a candidate because I was her friend. She was a young girl out here that needed some help with 5 kids, ma'am. And I done been through what she been through. So my payment back was to sleep with my son.
Okay, hold on. Let's not go there. Let me just understand. So you befriend her once you met her.
Yes.
And you all started what? You
Going to the school dances, I got pictures of that. They need to put it up there. I fed them. I put them in my house. All them pictures that you see, that pictures you just put up there, we was to the school children's dance, Valentine's dance, so that was in February. My son didn't get there till June. I was a young mother from 14. I got pregnant at 14, I had him at 15, and I had 5 by 22. So I ain't gonna give no trick, no problem. But see, women helped me, and women raised me, and women brought me through. So I don't do dog girls out. I try to help them. And anybody that know me, know my character, that's who I am. I do it from the heart.
So wait, all right, so I understand your intention behind befriending Miss Jackson and saying, listen, this is a young woman, I can relate to where she is, I want to
Yes.
help her, I want to guide her,
Yes.
I want to empower her
Yes.
to do better and to raise her children.
Yes.
Throughout that process, you know you have a handsome son. Did you caution them and say, listen?
Not at that time because I don't have friends that sleep with my damn children. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
have
all right.
friends that sleep with my children, so I didn't think nothing of it. We clean people and we upstanding people, and because of who she was, I never thought this dummy would look at her.
So, Miss Jackson, what I want to understand is, Mr. Chaplin somehow came back in the picture.
No. So me and Dominique became friends. We got close. We was like brother, sister, and we had sex. every day, nonstop.
Wait a minute, hold on. Miss Jackson, that sounds nasty. Now, you said you all were like brother and sister?
We was friends, we was close like brother and sister, we was friends. Every time you see him, me and him hanging out together.
We was hanging together, Yana. We were only friends. As you can see, she just said it herself.
And was having sex while we was friends.
You know what I'm saying? So after
every
we spent
night.
a lot of time together, yes, but the whole entire time, we were never in a relationship.
We don't have to be in a relationship to have no baby, honey.
When you come to
You
me
don't
and
have
tell
to
me
be in a
that,
relationship to have no
I'm glad you
child.
understand that. So when you come to me with a
Right,
paper telling me that you're pregnant, how does that put us in a
First
relationship?
of all, you picked me up for the daggone doctor's office, and I
How
had
does that put us in a relationship, though? So when you come to me
we
and
don't
you tell
need
me
no
that
relationship to have no baby.
So when you come to me and tell me that I'm a candidate, or you telling me I'm your baby's daddy, you better be telling that to every last one of the other men that you slept with that you
First
told
of all,
me about.
boo, we ain't talking about no every last other man.
Ladies and gentlemen, hold on. Now, y'all gonna talk over one another, but you ain't gonna talk over me. I need to understand. How do you sleep with your mom's friend? How does that happen?
Well, because like I said, when I came down, I was definitely going through something at the time, and she just befriended me. Like, she was being real nice to me.
And you knew this was your mother's friend. You were introduced like, this is my girlfriend.
Yes.
And you knew this.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you say she befriended you?
Yes, ma'am. Even though we slept together, I know for a fact I wasn't the only person she was sleeping with. Throughout the time that I've known her, she had 2 different cell phones. Those phones ring constantly during the time that we're together. We talk about.
And don't forget the girls.
Not only that.
Two in there too.
Not
You
only,
all right, Ann.
We
not
know
only
they ain't
that.
the daddy.
Ann.
Not only that, one day we were walking down the street, and a couple of guys were honking the horn, trying to get her attention, but these are people that she knew, not just people who just thought she, looked at her. And one guy stopped, he rode by and spoke, came back by and had to stop the car to speak to her. He was like, why haven't you been answering my phone calls, or why haven't I been able to catch up with you? He ended up giving both of us a ride. She gets in the front seat with him, I get in the back seat. She's telling this man that I'm her brother. And I'm going along with it because we just friends, it's all cool. But obviously from the rip, I could tell this is somebody that she's talking to and dating, obviously, not just some friend that was riding by offering her a ride.
What are you talking about?
So within that case, and both of those situations happened before she told me she was pregnant by me. So when she showed me the paperwork, I'm like, yeah, we're gonna have to get a DNA test.
Okay, so wait, so I wanna understand your testimony. In your mind, you all have crossed the line between brother and sister and turned into friends with benefits. All right.
Yeah. Every time we got into another one of her male friends, she made sure that she let them know I was only her brother.
And not only that, before he even got there, he should have asked me who this person was. I don't know why he did. But before that, when she left her ID at the security man, I was up there. I went and got it for her. Then the other old man that stayed 2 streets over, I don't know his name, but I know where he lived at. I took him and her to get her kids and her something to eat. The bottom line is I knew she was with all these guys because I'm telling you, lady, Judge, you ain't in the real world.
Girl,
the real world is this girl. I'm just upset at the fact I knew that she trapped me.
It doesn't
By the time
matter.
I figured it out, it
Honey,
hadn't been too late.
Your son is grown.
It doesn't matter. And my son got there on a Sunday. He got a job on a Tuesday. He got a car the next Tuesday. She saw money. She was hurting. She was in pain. She needed help.
She
saw help.
And so you said that he represented help.
Everything I did, I took pictures. Not because the proof to her. I have the reason to bring her down. I don't want to bring this young girl down. She needs some help.
So, Ms. Robinson, what I do, listen, I understand, and it is clear you tried to help her. What I do want to understand is how you discovered or how you know about other men being in the picture.
It was 2 married men she hinted me, but people that know me know I don't fool with married men, and I don't flow with that, and you can't talk to me about that. So she never told me their names, but she hinted it.
Okay, now, Ms. Jackson, is what Ms. Robinson testifying to true?
It was only one other man, but at the end of the day, me and Dominique was having sex every day. Shut up, Mario. I hope while you up there riding him out, you can take care of this dang on child support when this DNA test come back today.
That's what you looking for.
You grandma. All right, well, but shut up then.
Okay, hold on.
I don't play by my mama, and you know this.
You know this.
Stop talking. Stop talking. Listen to me.
Some order,
Listen,
ladies.
Stop engaging. You're here for answers, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just calm down and let's get them.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Ms. Jackson?
Yes, ma'am.
What I want to understand is you're saying there were two men that were possibilities, and both of those men know they are possibilities. But what you're also testifying to is when the baby was born, you said Mr. Chaplin, he took to the baby. He accepted the baby.
All the texts is on Facebook, honey.
So you
All of them.
submitted text messages to the court, which
Can you pull them
proved
up? Yes.
that he accepted the baby.
Go ahead.
So Mr. Chaplin writes, "Oh my God, where's she at?" I guess that's where.
Yes.
"What you doing? Where is my daughter?" And then you write 6 pounds, 7 ounces, 18 and a half inches, born at 5:39 a.m. Mr. Chaplin, you write, "Oh my God, yes, yes, yes. Hey, I want to see her."
Why you ain't came?
So, Miss Jackson, you send a picture of the beautiful baby. Mr. Chaplin, you wrote back, "Oh my God, I'm so in love. She is so, so beautiful." Now, Mom, Ms. Robinson, I want to understand
Hold
from you.
up.
Wait. Let me ask the question. Do you immediately deny that your son is the father? Or did you know he was accepting the baby throughout?
They came and gave me a pregnancy test. I said, "Where you got it from?" He said, "Her." I said, "Take her back to the clinic yourself and wait, and then bring me that test back." He did. He took her to the clinic. She took the test. Okay, we know she's pregnant. I said, "Now come back and talk to me when you got Dana." I said, "Let's go see her."
Who's Dana?
Dana is DNA.
Oh,
And that's what we're here for today, to see Dana, honey. And that's what we're here for today, to see Dana.
I have never heard that before, Jerome. So when Dana comes or when you go see Dana, that's the DNA?
That's right. When that baby come, you get a blood test, and I ain't got no problem with taking in none of mine or taking care of none of mine. But until then, I know who she was
First of all,
before
I
he
don't
asked
need
her, before
you
he
to
met
take
her.
care of her,
So
honey.
therefore, I got a problem.
I don't
with it.
need you to take care
You
of nothing.
understand?
I don't need you
And
to
then
take care of
she blasted
Milani,
me
honey.
on Facebook and put a whole bunch of foolishness up there with my name in it, trying to bet. All this is about embarrassing me.
I didn't
But it ain't
embarrass
gonna
you,
work.
honey.
No
the way
weapon.
you act, you're embarrassing your own
No
self.
weapon, honey.
You can't act like
no
a grandma.
Weapon.
Okay.
So I'm gonna keep it cute and classy,
Thank
okay?
you.
Okay. Let's do that.
Thank you.
Let's do that.
I'm trying to calm down. He want me to calm down. I gotta calm
Okay.
down. When I calm down, can I tell you something? I ain't gonna say nothing no more. This
What'd you say to me, Miss Robinson?
I just want to calm down. I want to tell you something so you can understand me, okay?
Okay.
So I gotta calm down so you can understand me and not yell as much, okay?
Okay.
Listen, she wasn't just sleeping with him. When the married man came to talk to my son, it was me, my son, and the dude. And I bet you this ain't gonna come back Dominique Chaplin, baby. I bet you this gonna come back somebody else, baby.
So wait a minute. I want to understand. You are saying you
She been with at
believe
least
that
5 men
hold
I could call her for.
on. Hold on. You believe that there is a married man somewhere in this
Yes.
picture who could
Oh, my
potentially
God.
be the father
Yes.
of Milani.
Yes, because she said it.
Miss Jackson, what is your response? Is there some married man?
She's the one who tried to sleep with the married man. When she first seen that man, she was trying to sleep with that man. So one thing about Two Davis Show, I know who I slept with. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, it all boils down to your son taking care of Milani. Thank you.
If
3
it's
months
his
been going
son,
too
his
long.
child,
And guess
he
what?
will
And you're
take
gonna pay
Milani.
the child support too. Thank you. And your daughter, since y'all want to co-ride.
No problem.
Thank you.
All right. All right.
Problem. We take
Yeah,
hours.
yeah.
You see
No,
that
you
now?
don't. No, you don't.
see we are forced
You
to
don't.
reckon
You
with, boo.
don't, Heifer. You don't.
We are
So
forced to reckon with.
listen.
Wait on my
listen.
death.
You don't.
Listen. This is a lot of drama. I mean, I'm looking at this beautiful little girl, and I'm like, oh, thank God she has no idea of all this drama that is going on. We can't wait any longer, Jerome. Let's get the
Let's
results.
go.
Thank you.
Yes. Let's get it.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Chaplin versus Jackson, when it comes to 3-month-old Milani Jackson, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Chaplin, you are the father.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You in
Thank
trouble.
you.
You
got
Child
to know
support,
you ain't
baby.
that, buddy.
Thank you.
Miss Jackson,
Thank
calm
you.
down. Calm down.
Thank you.
Calm down. I see the emotion in your face. What are you feeling, Miss Jackson?
Man, I'm just like, I went through 3 months and they keep on putting all this mess in his way, and I told him, regardless of the possibility, that's your child. He told me he could not make no kids. My baby is here, that's your child, honey.
Oh,
What you gotta do, let your mama be a grandma.
You got it. You want to be in
And
this family.
no, I don't want to be your family.
She's
I don't
our
want
family,
I don't
not
care.
you.
I don't want my child dealing with you at all.
All right, ladies, listen. This is going nowhere. I have heard enough. You all have been screaming at the top of your lungs like kids. And I'm sitting here in this beautiful little girl. I mean, in this moment, she's found her family. I mean, if you just take it off of your perspective for once, and I know this is hard because you've been through a lot, and Ms. Robinson, look, I'm 49, you 48, I'm from that same school. Ain't no friend of mine sleeping with my son. That ain't gonna never happen. That's not my world. But listen, if you keep this behavior up, you're gonna run her spirit in the ground.